everyone. So today we're going to do mixed media morsel number 11. And I'm going to use the back of last time's masking technique on that side. All right. So what we're going to do today is something I was watching Shannon Green do the other day on her channel, and I'm going to link to her video. I'll put a little iCard right up here so that you can click on that and go check out her video. It is really cool, and ever since I watched it, I've been making these, so it's just that much fun. So even she suggested that it might make a good mixed media morsel, so I was like, yeah, let's do that. So what I'm using is the back of, well, one of my pages, and it's not necessarily, what I've been making is not pages, although you can use this technique for a background, which is what I'm going to show you on the page today. But I'm going to show you another thing that you can also do with this technique. So what we do is, I've got a couple of jelly prints here that I like okay, but you know, they're not anything special to me, but they are full of color, and so I want to use them. So what I'm doing is tearing these into strips, and I've already started tearing these. I don't really need to tear anymore, but I'll show you what I've done. See how cool that looks by itself? I love that. I wasn't crazy about the big sheet, but I love the little strip. I mean, they just look awesome to me when they're smaller. I'm just like that about stuff. So anyway, so I've torn both of those pieces into a few strips, okay? And I'm going to use these together and glue them down. I'll show you. But I like the way that they're similar colors in both of these patterns, and this one is kind of dark and these are kind of bright, so I think that kind of helps to balance it out just a little bit. So I'm going to be using these today, but I wanted to tell you that if you don't have any painted papers or jelly prints, you can use anything like that has color on it, like magazine pages or catalogs or junk mail or grocery store ads. I mean, anything, you know, that has color and stuff. You can even use black and white if you want, like book text, and do the same thing, tear it into strips, and then you can put a little paint on it later if you want color on it. So just, you know, use your imagination and, you know, just go anywhere you want to with it. I did want to show you these pages. I tore out of a catalog. This one was really colorful, and it had a lot of seat cushions, outdoor cushion patterns on it, so I like that a lot. And then I saw a page in a magazine that had just a lot of red on it. So I started tearing these two pieces into strips, thinking that, you know, they might look nice together. And so then this was what that looks like, just to give you an idea. It's not saying you have to use two different patterns, but it does kind of mix it up a little bit and kind of makes it fun. So, so here's the reds mixed in with those colorful bits. See, so I like that a lot too. You know, I would easily use that on something, and I will. So that's just to let you know that if you don't have painted papers, use something else that already has color on it. Okay, so we're going to use these, and we're going to glue them down to this page. And what I started doing recently is, instead of using a lot of Mod Podge, which is a little bit more expensive than glue, I'm using just a 50-50 white glue and water just to adhere the strips. And then I'll put the Mod Podge layer just on the top to give it the sheen and to seal it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've just got a little dish over here with just the glue and water 50-50. And I'm going to just put these on my page. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the glue and water down and take a strip. Okay, just like that. And then we'll add one of this color. Okay, these will overlap just a little bit, just to be a continuous a continuous pattern. So see, that's already looking really cool. And then of course we'll trim the edges and all that. Doesn't that look great? So this is going to make a really cool background. And so in the same way that we did a collage on morsel number 2 with the little tiny pieces, this is basically a collage of the strips across, either up and down, or you can do it, you know, horizontally. Whichever way you want to use them is fine, and it'll look good both ways. See, this one's brightening it up even more because there's some white section here, so that's kind of cool. And then I have this one to go on the outside edge. Okay, just like that. Doesn't that look cool? I think it's beautiful. I just love this technique. Thanks, Shannon. This is really fun. Okay. I'm gonna get these corners here. Sometimes, you know, your corners don't get quite enough glue. Just check the edges. Make sure everything is glued down good. These long pieces, I'll just tear those. They're wet, so they'll tear pretty easily. We'll get those out of the way, and then we'll trim it off straight with the page. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to dry that. All right. And now I'm going to trim it. So there's your background. And you can put whatever you want on this, or you can leave it as a background, you know, just like we've been doing with the rest of the morsels. But I think that just looks awesome. Now, that's that one. Okay, the other thing you can make with this is a journal cover. Okay, so here's one I made earlier. I just took a piece of cardstock and did the same thing, put the strips on. After I got them on, I took a little bit of watercolor on a wet brush and just kind of went along the edges where it was white on the edges and added a little color like that. Okay, and then on the inside, I just glued another painted paper. This one was one where I was rolling off the brayer. Okay, just to cover the inside of the white piece, you know, piece of cardstock where it was white. Okay, and then what you'll do is you take some pages and cut some pages down. This is 3 more pieces of cardstock, and then I'll end up stitching those inside the fold of this book, okay, and make a little journal. Isn't that the cutest thing? I'm going to decorate this just a little bit more, and I'm going to put the coat of Mod Podge on there because it's not shiny yet. It's just got the glue like this one so far. But look how cute that is. Okay, and all week I've been making, I made a couple. I used some of these same papers, and on this one I did not do any of the paint on it, and I kind of like the white edge in there too, and I haven't decorated this either. This is just glued down. And on these I'm using just some food boxes. These are from some Little Debbie snack cakes, and so these will have more than one signature in them, okay? And so I haven't done the inside yet, but I had just folded the strips over so that I could. On this I had to fold it over because I have 2 pieces of cardboard, the long box, and I had folded it over. So I really wanted to cover that edge. On a single sheet like this, you don't have to fold it over and do that. Just glue it right up to the edge and trim it off and you're good. So on this one I did fold it over because it's thicker. And then when I put something inside, like here's another one I did that I threw some red paint on and I was done, but then I put the paper on the inside and it just really finishes it off. It just looks really nice. And I'll be able to put, like, you know, 3 or 4 signatures depending on how many pages I'm doing. I did another one. This one I used, this one was not strips, okay? This one was just a plain sheet, and I showed you this sheet in my last video when I was talking about jelly prints, making jelly prints, and I was telling you about how I was using the brayer, cleaning the brayer off, and then using that page. This is what you can create, you know, with something like that. I mean, why not, right? So this one has 3 signatures. I still haven't put the inside sheet on this one either. But this one has 3 signatures, and I'm just using hair elastic. And you do it, you know, like that, like Midori style. And then these pages just slide in, you know, under that. And so you can always add more pages or take pages out to work on them if you want to. So it's really a cool way to make a little book. So this is what I've been working on. And then you can also, you know, tie this together here and put a charm, or, you know, dangle something there if you want, beads or whatever. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. But the strips thing is the one that's, to me, is just really exciting because you can do cool things with it by mixing patterns and all that stuff. So that's what I've been working on. So this one now we need to get back to. And I guess you could do the Midori style the same way on a small book like this. This one's a little bit taller than this book. And the hair elastics can be a little tight, and I don't think this would hold up to having that pulling, elastic pulling on it. The reason I can do it on this is because this is so thick. That's a double layer of cardboard in there, so it really does well. But this is so simple to just, you know, poke 2 holes and tie it up and you're good. Then you can have your little strings on the outside, and you can still tie on beads or whatever if you'd like to do that. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to show you what I was going to possibly do on here. First, I want to put the Mod Podge on. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you too was Shannon talks about in her video, and you'll see this when you watch it, that paper has a grain, and if you tear with the grain, your paper will tear relatively straight, like this did. So as I was tearing down this way, I could tell I was tearing with the grain because it was tearing pretty straight. But if you try to tear it against the grain, you don't, see, you don't get the same. See, it just doesn't want to tear. It goes off to the side. But if you tear with the grain, do this and it will tear off. Okay? So that's just something for you to know ahead of time going into this, that if your paper's not tearing right, just turn it in the other direction. And I also found that because this one was tearing as the, you know, the paper was like vertical along this way, and so I figured, well, maybe most papers do that. And so I went to tear this one that way, and it didn't work. I had to turn it horizontally to find the grain, because when I went to tear it this way, I'm going to try to tear this edge off. When I went to tear it this way, it immediately tore off the side and didn't continue a straight line. But when I did it this way, it did. So it's interesting to know. So you know you got the grain if you get a relatively good tear. All right. So that was good information to know going into that. Okay, so now we have this one and we have this one. And I had seen Shannon, you know, decorating hers, and so I wanted to do a little bit of, you know, some of the types of things that she was doing. She used some paints and she used twinkling H2Os, which is watercolors with sparkles or shimmers in them, and I just used some plain watercolor on mine, and then I remembered I had some green paint that I had put in a fine line applicator. So I thought I might use a little bit of this on this particular book. See if I can get the cap off. There we go. And let's see. I think I like this side better than that side, so I'm going to call this the front. But you know, you can just decorate it in any way you want, just adding a little here and a little there, but I'm going to just do a little bit of wavy lines here. The orange ones. So see how that makes it so fun? I love it. Guess I'll go ahead and take this on down. Okay. So that is fun. And then, let's see, what else I want to do. Maybe I'll use a Posca pen. And won't be easy to do this with it being wet, but we'll see what we can get accomplished. Maybe a little bit here and there. Do like circles. You can do something like that. I'll do a few more of those, but I'll have to wait till some of this dries. And then you can take, you can use like stickles, and you can draw lines, or, I mean, you can just decorate it in any way you want to. It's just fun to be able to do it. I really want to use some black on this one too, but I don't know exactly what. Maybe I'll do a little bit going across. Maybe just make some lines. That's fun. So this is just a fun thing you can just play with to your heart's content, and just really enjoy it. Okay, let's see this one. There we go. Just fun playing. So I'm anxious to see you guys, what you create with your torn paper strips, and I hope you have fun with it. I'm just having a blast making these books, and just the possibilities are endless when it comes to what you use and how you decorate it, and it's just fun. So all right, so that'll be it for today, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.